They have high hopes and a whole lot of motivation. The danger is virtual, but the excitement is real. Any night of the week, they're their league's heroes. And they live for the thrill of victory. It's Sunday Night Thunder. NARC No Limit is open for business. Welcome, race fans, to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, at the historic Williams Grove Speedway for night 3 of the Simrat Market No Limit Sprint Cars with National Auto Racing Club. I'm Bruce Klingin. I'm joined in the pits by Christian McCartney here for night 3 as we get ready to push some cars out for hot laps. Let's talk a little bit about what Williams Grove Speedway is going to have to offer. Christian, tell us a little bit about what's going on here at Williams Grove.
Well, Bruce, Williams Grove here, a very, very fast track, long straightaways, tight corners. Uh, this track slicks off very quickly, especially on exit, especially on turn 4 exit. I expect drivers to have a little bit of difficulty all night long navigating that high side out of turn 4, but I expect a lot of speed tonight and a lot of skill on display as guys try to navigate through these tight corners. At high speeds.
Williams Grove, an absolutely historic track when it comes to sprint cars, formerly a horse racing facility, converted, I believe, in the late 1930s into a auto racing speedway, and it has been what is the essentially the crown jewel of Pennsylvania dirt cars and sprint cars in general in Pennsylvania ever since. Hosting Pennsylvania's biggest and best weekly racing with the Pennsylvania Posse, and even hosting national events across almost every discipline that you could possibly imagine in dirt car racing. Tonight's event, we have a number of cars on the list. Still a few no shows at the time I looked before I came up here to the booth. We had 33 cars checked in out of the 40, so a few cars missing tonight at the moment. But I'm sure we are going to have an absolutely action-packed night here for No Limit Racing. Qualifying just a few minutes away. Before we get down to qualifying, Christian, let's talk about some picks for tonight. Who's looking good in your eyes here at Williams Grove?
Well, Bruce, I was walking through the pits earlier, and I stopped by Ross Kaiser's group. Um, their crew just looked like they were on tonight. He had a fire in his eyes. Um, Here we've had 31 visits with NARC here to Williams Grove, 24 past winners. My pick is Ross Kaiser. I think he'll be the 25th winner here at Williams Grove.
Ross Kaiser, that's an interesting pick. Ross has been strong all season long, but not able to really make the end of the race come through. I tell you who my pick is. A little bit of a unexpected addition this week. Braden Eiler is driving the Miles Jansen house car tonight. He's going to be in that number 7. Braden, a former World of Outlaw iRacing pro, and someone that's special to me. I had in 2021 the absolute honor of working with Braden and spotting for him in the Pro Series, and actually spotting him in his win here at Williams Grove in the iRacing Pro Series. So my pick tonight, Braden Eiler. And I'll tell you the thing I'm looking out for with Braden is not afraid to go where the car needs to go to be effective. Top, bottom doesn't matter. Looks like we may have our first car out on the track for qualifying. Or maybe we're getting ready to push. I can't quite tell. Looks like they let James go out and get a couple of laps in practice here. Looks like they might have had a last minute motor problem. They wanted to push off again and hear that one fire up. So just a couple of minutes before we get ready to push. Christian, anything else you're hearing down in the pits? Anybody, did you get a pick from Brandon while you were down there?
Yeah, Bruce, I ran into Brandon Garman here while I was walking through the pits, and we had a brief discussion, and he said his driver tonight, Tyler Schell, and I think that's a brilliant pick by Brandon. Tyler Schell, the winningest driver here with National Auto Racing Club, 4 wins, all 4 wins coming in the 410 sprint cars. So Brandon Garman's pick, Tyler Schell.
Tyler Schell, also a World of Outlaw Pro Series winner here at Williams Grove. Tyler, an absolute expert of running the bottom of the speedway here. He absolutely snookered the rest of the field when he won his first race here at Williams Grove. Nobody expected it to end up where it did, and he made the bottom of the speedway work better than anybody could have imagined. Now it has become almost the go-to line, the go-to approach to qualifying here at or to racing here at Williams Grove late in the race. All right, now it does look like we are actually ready for qualifying. Got some cars lined up. Track record tonight 16.292. I think there's a shot here at the track record. So let's see what we can't pull off. First car pushing out onto the speedway from Duanesburg, New York. In the Inferno Motorsports number 518, sponsored by Catalytic Recovery, EPI, and West End Towing, and a Triple X and a Christener. This is Joseph Grandy in the 518. Joseph Grandy in the 518. Joseph comes around, takes the green flag, a finish he's, I'm sure, hoping to do better than this week. In his last event, he finished 24th, was one of the first cars to get hit with a caution. First lap for Grandy, going to be a 16.65 seconds for Grandy on lap one. Second lap for Grandy as he comes around here, going to be 16.82, not an improvement in lap two. Next car out on track in the number 29 from Uniontown, Pennsylvania, the Inferno Motorsports machine. I'm sorry, the Turn 5 Enterprises machine, or the 25 Enterprises machine, sponsored by EPI and Victory Fuel from Bloomington, Indiana. This is Steven Stewart. Rick Main apparently a scratch this morning. Steven Stewart out on the track here. Stewart's first lap, a 16.86. 16.86 for Stewart on lap one. Ooh, Stewart a little bit squirrely on the exit of 4. This lap probably not going to be any better, and it is not. 16.87 for lap number 2. Rolling out onto the speedway in the number 24 from Olean, New York. Driving the Scott Thomason Racing, Finish Line Racing Designs, Aces Up Sim Sport machine. This is Josh Whiteman. Josh Whiteman in the 24. Josh takes the green flag. Josh pretty clean coming out of 4. See what he's got here. Lap number 1 for Josh. Going to be 16.82. Good enough for second here provisionally. Lap number 2 for Josh Whiteman going to be 16.83. Next car out on track, last week's winner, your current point leader from Lemoore, California, in the Tanner Pettit Racing Mac Tools 1425 Photography Blake Carrick Racing Triple X, powered by a Don Ott, the number 49 of Ryan Avila. Avila takes the green flag clean around the cushion of the track in 1 and 2, sticks right there into the cushion in 3 and 4, right to the wall on exit. Lap number 1, 16.28. That's good enough for quick time and a new track record. Lap number 2 for Avila, a much different line. Oh, and he gets into the wall on exit. That lap's not going to count because of that wall contact, but Ryan Avila pulls away with a new track record, 16.28. Next car rolling out in the number 26, Jonathan Paquette Motorsports, Klosterman Engraving and Design, M9 Performance, JPR Maximum. This is Nick Klosterman in the 26. Klosterman running that same line Avila ran in 1 and 2. And a very similar line in 3 and 4. Oh, but he's going to get some wall contact. And reminder, in No Limit, wall contact during your qualifying lap, any contact at all with anything that's other than the racing surface will invalidate your lap. So no time for lap 1. He hangs it out there again on lap number 2. Woo! Right up to the wall. Lap number 2 for Klosterman, a 16.95. That puts him provisionally into 5th position here at Williams Grove. Next car out on the track. Driving the number 8 Newton Racing Bad Boys Buggies Triple X. Your Division 3 point leader from Mountain Home, Idaho. This is James Newton in the number 8. James Newton. James's first lap coming out of 3. Oh, a little bit of wall contact. That's going to be the name of the night with qualifying. Can you get through your fast lap without wall contact? Newton's lap ends up counting, so he must have got the cushion instead of the wall, 1670. It's going to put him in 3rd right now. And lap number 2 looks pretty clean on exit, but not going to be any faster. That 1670 will hold for James Newton. Rolling out next from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the Full Throttle Motorsports, Chatham Motorsports Super Dirt Car Series, number 99. This is Gavin Chatham. Gavin Chatham in the 99. Chatham driving it deep into 3 and 4 on the exit there. Right up on the cushion in 1 and 2. Nice and clean through 3 and 4. A little loose on exit. Let's see what he comes up with lap number 1. Lap number 1 for Chatham, a 1686. That's going to put him in 5th place provisionally here. Chatham runs a little bit different line in 3 and 4 here. Ooh, can't quite hold on to it on the exit. Second lap for Chatham, not going to be any faster. Next car out. Coming off a 6th place finish last week in the Kenny Hoffman Racing Aces Up Sim Sports Focus Built Sprints Fusion Setup Shop Maxim, powered by Don Ott Motors from Allentown, Pennsylvania in the number 1. This is Kenny Hoffman. Kenny Hoffman. Kenny all the way up into the cushion, making a super high entry into 3 and 4. Let's see what he has here for lap number 1. Hoffman, 1662. Good enough for second, but nowhere near Avila's 1629. Hoffman runs that bottom line in 3 and 4. Again for lap number 2 here, and 1648, a little bit faster for lap number 2, but not enough to advance ahead of Avila. The next car out on the track, in the number 16 from Bulverde, Texas, in the Christensen Racing number 16, this is Jeremy Christensen. Jeremy sitting in the top 10, top 3 of Division 3 points. Sorry, as he takes the green flag here. Christensen up in the fluff in 3 and 4. A really good exit, it looks like. First lap for Christensen, going to be good enough for 6th place, 16:82. 4 cars in the field with identical to the 100th lap time. Oh, a little bit of contact with the cushion, maybe even the wall. No faster on lap number 2 for Jeremy Christensen. Next up, in the number 007, Jeremy Childers Racing entry from Hilton Head, South Carolina. This is Jeremy Childers in the 007. Jeremy Linden hang out there on the exit of 3 and 4 to take the green. Jeremy not quite getting up to the cushion. I think there is speed on that small berm that's there. That fluff, that powdery stuff is grip. It's not like asphalt racing. Getting a little loose on exit. That's what Christian was talking about earlier. Childers' first lap coming in at 17:42. He's losing a lot of speed on the exit of 4. That's a little bit cleaner. Let's see if we can pick it up on lap number 2. Lap number 2 for Childers, 17:26. Good enough for 10th place provisionally. Rolling out next, the number 73 from St. Louis, Missouri, the Scott Thomason Racing Rocking Cage S and Jim's Midwest Barbecue. This is Larry Moody. Larry Moody in the 73. Larry almost up to that fluff, almost up to the cushion there. And a nice high entry into 3 and 4. Let's see how his exit is. A little bit squirrely, but okay. Moody's first lap going to be a 17:24. 17:24 for Larry Moody on lap number 1. Good enough for 10th place here provisionally. Second lap for Moody is going to be 17:07. 17:07, just a little bit faster, but not enough to improve position. Next car out on track, driving the number 79 from North Syracuse, New York. This is your Division 2 points leader, the Full Throttle Motorsports World of Outlaws Dirt Vision entry to the number 79 of Dean Reynolds. Dean on the clock here, down the backstretch. Again runs that high entry with a little bit of a cut down. That is a different line than we've seen. First lap for Reynolds, 16:82. That's going to slot him into 6th place provisionally here. A little bit more traditional line on lap 2, but almost some wall contact. Second lap for Reynolds, not going to be an improvement. Next car out on track is going to be Miles Jansen in the number 970 from Taylors Falls, Minnesota. He's driving the Delta Sim Sports 25 Enterprise, TWR, Shocks, EPI, JR1. This is Miles Jansen. Miles sitting second in Div 2 points. Reynolds got a pretty decent lead on him, but anything can happen here. Miles, a little bit of contact with the cushion. Let's see if that is going to invalidate this first lap. It doesn't. 16:88 on lap 1. We'll put Miles into 10th place at the moment. Lap number 2. Let's see if we can be a little cleaner coming off the exit of 4. Yes, much cleaner on the exit of 4 here. Should be an improvement, and it is 16:75 for Miles Jansen. That puts him in 5th at the moment. Next car up, a No Limit founder from Bradford, Pennsylvania, in the Old Man Motorsports Victory Sim number 97. This is Richard Obermeyer. Richard not going for that high line that everybody else has been running. He's kind of running a bottom to slider, almost a diamond there in 1 and 2. Let's see what he does in 3 and 4. 3 and 4, a little bit tighter of a corner. Much harder to run the top of the speedway here in 3 and 4. Obermeyer's going to kind of run the middle there, and I think this could pay off for him, actually. 1761 for Obermeyer did not pay off. That's going to put him in 14th at the moment. Let's see if we can pick it up here in lap number 2. Second lap for Obermeyer is going to be no better. It's going to slot him into 14th at the moment. Next car out on track in the number 57 from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Driving the Kamikaze Motorsports, JG Motorsports, Turn 2 Terribles podcast entry, the number 57 of Austin Griffey. Griffey on the clock. Speeds down the backstretch, reaching about 140 miles an hour as they get to the end of the backstretch here. Right up on the cushion for Griffey. On 4, that looks like a great exit for Austin. 1660, that's going to put him in 3rd quick. Huge gap to Avila right now. Like Avila found something that no one else has quite gotten to. Griffey runs that slider line on lap number 2. Let's see if he can pick up. And not going to pick up, not going to be an improvement. 1672 for lap number 2. Rolling out onto the speedway, a No Limit founder. Driving the number 32, Bryn Mark Sim Sports, Turn 2 Terribles podcast, Jeremy Zarfos Photography, McGrubid Maxim. From Carlisle, Pennsylvania, this is Christopher Lynn in the 32. Chris, a very clean 1 and 2. You just hear that car singing at the moment. Oh, a little bit loose in the middle of 3 and 4. That is going to make this lap pretty difficult. And the loss of momentum coming out of 4 probably makes this second lap not very great either. Chris Lynn's first lap is 17:30. He's going to lay it all out there, running right on the cushion for lap number 2. I know this is going to be an improvement. And it is a 1691. Puts him in 12th position at the moment. Next car out on the track, another No Limit founder from Fremont, Ohio, in the Watson Motorsports Golf Dots XXX. This is Mike Watson. Mike Watson driving the number 6. Watson, I believe, last week's hard charger. In second place currently in Division 2 points. Lap number 1 for Watson. Watson puts it way out on the wall in the exit of 4. Lap number 1 for Watson going to be good enough for 15th. It's a 1711. Oh, Watson into the wall a little bit on the exit of 4. I think that's probably going to invalidate that lap, and it does. The next car out on track from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Coming off a run from 18th to 6th place last week in the Kenny Hoffman Racing, Aces Up Sin Sports, Dudek Designs, Bocus Built Sprints Frogger. This is Connor Dudek in the 07. Connor running that super high entry. We saw out of Kenny Hoffman earlier. Lap number 1 for Connor. Going to be 1668. 1668. Good enough for 5th position provisionally. Runs a low line in 3 and 4 here for lap number 2. Lap number 2 going to be a 16:63. That bumps him up to 4th position. Connor Dudek sitting in 4th at the moment. Rolling on to the speedway from Olathe, Kansas. In the Cadenberry Motorsports Derek's Action Photo Speed Factory, Axis Construction, Triple X, number 17. This is Jack Burke. Green flag for Jack. Right around the top, you can see that car just looks tight right on the top. It looks great on the exit of the corner. Burke's first lap is 16:97. Looks good, but was not as fast as it looked. Burke runs a slider line in 3 and 4 for lap number 2 and can't quite keep it straight on the exit. Second lap, not going to be any better, 16:98. Rolling out onto the speedway, a no-limit founder from Reading, Pennsylvania in the Black Diamond Motorsports number 90, Ultimate Dirt TV, Tim's Dirt Track Simulators, 19 Designs, Mach 1. This is Trevor Royer. Trevor Royer has 6 NARC 410 wins, putting him 3rd on the all-times win list for 410 sprint cars in NARC. Trevor, a little bit of wall contact it looks like. We'll see if this lap counts. This is one of Trevor's favorite tracks. That first lap is going to count at 16:74 for Trevor. Going to slot him into 7th. And second lap, letting it all hang out on exit. Royer not going to improve. Next car out on track from Franklin, Pennsylvania. Driving the Delta Sim Sports House car, sponsored by Elite Performance Industry, TWR Racing Shocks, 25 Enterprises. This is a Triple X. This is the number 7 of Braden Eiler. Braden Eiler driving number 7 tonight. Braden Eiler, a couple of 410 NARC wins. Also a couple of 410 World of Outlaws Pro Series wins, including one here. Braden's first lap here going to be 16:86. That's definitely not what he was looking for. It's going to slot him into 14th. Braden goes to the bottom in 3 and 4. Lets the car slide up to the middle. On the throttle down the front stretch. Second lap for Braden Eiler. Going to be a 16:77. Good enough to move him to 9th. Big improvement there for Braden Eiler on lap 2. Next car out on track from Wilson, Michigan, driving the number 91 Just a Trim Racing, K&K Contracting, Just a Trim Lawn Service Machine. This is Solomon Borschinger. Solomon's first lap. He comes off turn number 4, not straight. You can see that car kind of angled down to the inside of the track. That's not what they're looking for. You want that car to be as straight as possible before you're back on the throttle. First lap for Borschinger is going to be 17:49, good enough for 21st at the moment. Second lap for Solomon, going to be 17:54. No improvement for Solomon. Next car out from Millersburg, Pennsylvania. Your all-time 410 sprint car NARC win leader. Driving the number 85, Elbows Up SimSport, Aces Up SimSport, More Than Tires, Paint by Tunis Cans, RPM, powered by a Don Ott. This is Tyler Schell. Tyler Schell on the Speedway from Millersburg, Pennsylvania, just down the road from Williams Grove. Tyler absolutely dominant here. 4 of his wins come at Williams Grove. First lap for Tyler going to be 16:61, good enough for 4th. Now running the bottom in 3 and 4. This is what Tyler's really good at. Second lap for Tyler. Not an improvement. Tyler Shell slots in at fourth. Rolling out onto the speedway, another No Limit founder from Iowa City, Iowa. In the Black Dog Motorsports Grid Lounge, Sweary Carry Designs Maxim. This is the number 28 of Reese Reimers. Reese almost looks like he's being battling the wind down the backstretch as the car just kind of wobbles from side to side a little bit. Not quite straight on the exit. Putting it all on the line. Reese Reimers first lap 1780, good enough for 24th. Second lap for Reese, right there again against the fluff. Not a better exit. Second lap for Reese going to be identical, 1772. That puts him 24th. Next car out. Driving the number 27 from Jefferson City, Missouri. In the Scott Thomason Racing Aces Up Sim Sports Finish Line Racing Designs Maximum, this is Chad Griggs. Chad in second place in the overall points right now. Has an absolute ton of NARC starts, but has not claimed a NARC win. Second place last week. Third place the week before. First lap for Griggs is 16:65. Good enough for sixth. Slots him in right behind Dudek at the moment. Second lap, Griggs going down to the bottom. Guarantee you I know where he got that tip from. Griggs and Tyler Shell, very good friends. Second lap for Griggs. Not going to be any better. That 16:65 slots him into sixth position. On the speedway next, in the number 33 from Roseburg, Oregon, in the Aero Sim Sports, CD Simtography, Gage Stevens Designs, Ashton Mueller Racing, Triple X. This is Ashton Mueller in the number 33. Ashton right on the fluff in 1 and 2. That is where the speed is. In 3 and 4, Ashton goes down to the bottom, runs a very bottom line. And Mueller's first lap going to be in 1680. That 1680 slots him into 12th. We're on a very similar line in lap 2 here, and that 1680 will hold for 12th. Next car out. In the number 17, driving for Taylor Wineland tonight. The Delta Sim Sports 25 Enterprises, TWR Racing Shocks, EPI JR1. This is Mason Hannigan filling in tonight. Mason running the top in 3 and 4. Little wall contact. See if the lap counts here. First lap for Mason. Going to be, looks like did not register. That wall contact just a little bit too much. Mason goes to the bottom in lap 3 and 4. Lap number 2 going to be 18th quick at a 16. And a 1688 for Mason Hannigan. Next car out from Yuba City, California, driving the team SSR Golden Valley Auto Body Triple X. This is Kyle Stanley in the 54. And that is a ton of wall contact on exit there. Hold on to her, Kyle. Down the backstretch. Kyle's going to run a little bit different line, running the middle of the speedway, kind of running in those marbles. That's something we haven't really seen by anybody. Let's see if lap number 1 counts for Kyle. Lap number 1, 17:19, good enough for 24th. Kyle a little loose and hang on to her. He hangs on, but 17:58 for lap number 2, not going to be any faster. Next out, another No Limit founder with 6 championships and 40 wins, for first all time on the NARC win list across all divisions. From St. Louis, Missouri, driving the Ironman Motorsports number 80, this is the one and only Vinny Sanso. Vinny running the top, smooth as can be for lap number 1. Lap number 1 going to be a 16:85, good enough for 16th place. And Vinny stays up top with a little bit of a cut down for lap number 2. Going to be not any better. The 16:85 holds for Vinny Sanso. Not a lot of speed left in the track. I just don't think it's there. As the track has started to come away, I don't think there's much left. Next car out, in the number 21 from Lincoln, Nebraska, the Tanner Pettit Racing Jimmy P. Mac Tools, 1425 Cinematography, Aces Up Sim Sports Machine. This is Blake Carrick in the 21. Blake Carrick. Oh, Blake, a little bit of wall contact there. Let's see if lap number 1 registers. It does. Surprises me. We'll take it, though. 16:73. Coming back to the scoring tower in 10th position on lap number 1. A little squirrely on the exit of 4 here. Coming to the checkered and hold on to her. Woo! I don't know how he saved that. Lap number 2 for Blake, no faster. That 16:73 slots him into 10th place. Rolling onto the speedway from Owasso, Michigan, in the Royalty Motorsports Majestic Promotional Branding and Apparel SM Racing Royalty Network DGHA Designs Triple X. This is Joseph Groom in the 11. Joseph takes the green flag. Round the top in 3 and 4 and hold on to her on exit. That's going to be the name of the game tonight. Can you keep a hold of it on the exit? Groom's first lap going to be a 17:45. Good enough to put him in 28th at the moment. Let's see if we can get an improvement. 17:33. Faster time, no better position. Rolling on to the speedway in the number 24 from Chico, California. Deriving the Tanner Pettit Racing, TannerPettitRacing.com, 1425 photography entry. This is Tanner Pettit. Tanner running the bottom of the speedway on his warm-up lap here. Up to the top in 1 and 2. Very smooth little cut down. Nice and clean exit. Last 2 cars definitely have a chance at the top spot if they can hold on to her. Tanner's first lap going to be, who did 22nd for Tanner Pettit at 16:94. That is not what he was looking for. Tanner runs that slider all the way up to the lip. Relatively clean exit. I don't know if this is going to be any faster. It is faster. A 16:79 moves him up to 13th place. And our final qualifier tonight, from San Jose, California, driving the number 4 Ross Kaiser Racing Trackside Collective. This is Ross Kaiser. Ross Kaiser in the number 4, coming off a 4th place finish last week. This is Christian's pick. Kaiser's first lap, a 17:30, good enough for 29th. Running the bottom of the speedway. Second lap for Kaiser going to be a 16:87. That bumps him up to 20th, but not what he was looking for. Some fast cars way back in the field. Kaiser, Mason Hannigan, Vinny Sansone, Ashton Mueller, Tanner Pettit, all qualifying outside of the top 10. They have got their work cut out for them, but Ryan Avila secures the top spot with a new track record at 16.28 seconds. Let's take a moment here to pay the price and pay off some of our sponsors. Check out the Turn Two Terribles podcast live every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, YouTube, or the next day on whichever podcast platform you prefer. Turn Two Terribles is the sponsor of our qualifying here at NARC No Limit. And with over 1.5 more electrolytes than the leading sports drink, Victory Fuel is your winning source for hydration, all while giving you all your daily vitamins in just a 12-ounce can, sweetened with only 6 grams of natural sugar and no added coloring. Visit drinkvictory.com and get Victory Fuel shipped right to your door, or find your closest retailer at the track. Christian, looks like you've got Austin Griffey down there. What are you hearing from him?
Hi, Bruce. Yes, I'm down here in the pits. I've joined up with Austin Griffey's team, speaking to the driver here. Austin, tell us a little bit about your qualifying run and what you plan to do here in the upcoming heats.
I really don't know what to say about my qualifying run. I kind of surprised myself there for that lap time. But yeah, the qualifying lap was pretty good. The heat race, I plan on just trying to take my time. If I try and get some good runs here, try and work my way up, just try and take what my crew gives me, try and take what the track's given to me. Just try and take advantage of my options here.
Yeah, definitely looking at that track, a lot of drivers struggling out of turn 4. It's getting quite slick out there. What was it like from the cockpit?
It wasn't really all that bad, really. It's just trying to find that sweet spot between the throttle and steering and all that stuff. Just trying to get the car locked down where you need it to, and hopefully it sticks.
Well, excellent. Thank you very much for chatting with us. Good luck here in your heats, and good luck for the rest of the night.
Thank you, sir.
Coming out of qualifying, we are hearing we got a scratch in Jeremy Christensen. Christensen looks like they did some damage to the car, and they don't have the spares to make that happen tonight. Here's your lineup for heat race number 1. On the pole would have been Jeremy Christensen, but that's going to bump up Trevor Royer to start on the pole in the number 90. Then Tanner Pettit on the outside of row 1. Then on the inside of row number 2, it's going to be Ryan Avila with Connor Dudek on the outside of row number 2. Inside of row number 3, going to be Jack Burke and Steven Stewart on the outside. Inside of row number 4, going to be Reese Reimers and Jeremy Childers on the outside. So Christensen scratched tonight, a giant shuffle of the field, as that's going to put some very fast cars up front and not having to deal with the invert. So Ryan Avila and Trevor Royer get big time advantages, moving themselves up a whole row in the field here. Remember, top 4 transfer to the feature, top 2 or the winner of the heat race and the fastest qualifier that transfers will go to the dash and fight for the top 8 spots. 8 laps the distance here in our heat race. Trevor Royer brings him the green flag. We're back going. Royer out to an early lead right up to the cushion. Tanner Pettit again to the top side. Connor Dudek to the top side as well. Avila's advantage completely washed. He gets slipped all the way back to 4th place. Now he's back to the top. Burke running the bottom of the speedway. He's got moves in 3 and 4. I feel like that's going to go away in 1 and 2. Pettit now on the attack for Royer up for the lead. Pettit falls back a little bit as they exit turn number 2. Royer and Pettit stay to the top of the speedway. And 4 laps to go. Trevor Royer maintains the lead. Ryan Avila now up to 3rd. Ryan Avila now on the attack. Pettit and Avila teammates here. Pettit, deep slider, cuts way underneath Royer. Pettit's going to come around to lead lap number next. Now Avila attacking down on the bottom. Avila now slides up the racetrack, but not quite enough to get in front of Royer. Royer has the advantage coming off the exit of turn number 2. Now Avila under a little bit of attack by Connor Dudek. The slider right to the nose lets him by. Four laps to go. Pettit starting to pull away a little bit. Just a little, though. Avila now starting to come back to the tail end of Trevor Royer's tail tank. Cannot quite make anything work at the moment. Your transfer position now to Dudek. Not a lot of attack here from Burke. Burke's got a little bit of ground to gain to get back. Avila starting to lose ground to Royer. As I say that, he cuts underneath him. Gets a little bit of a run into turn 2, but on the exit of turn 2, Royer's got everything going with that topside momentum. The moment, a very topside dominant racetrack. Royer and Avila trying to figure it out. Avila cuts down under, slides up to the nose of Trevor Royer. Parks it right on his nose. Avila now up to 2nd spot. That is to secure a spot in the dash as we come around to the checker flag. Royer slides him back. They bump, come into the flag. Royer gets 2nd spot. What a race for the last couple laps there, man. Pettit and Avila still make the dash. Pettit as the winner. Avila makes the dash as the fastest transfer. Heat race number 2 lining up right now. On the inside of row number 1, going to be Vinny Sansone in the number 80. The outside of row 1, Ashton Mealer. Inside of row number 2, going to be Blake Carrick, and the outside of row number 2 is going to be Chad Griggs. Inside of row number 3 is going to be Kenny Hoffman and Mason Hannigan on the outside of row number 3. And in row number 4, you'll have Larry Moody on the inside and Joseph Groom on the outside. 8 laps the distance. Top 4 transfer, the fastest qualifier in the winter will go to the dash. Vinny Sansone, along with Ashton Mueller, going to lead him to the green. Sansone jumps to the early lead. Mueller peaks to the bottom, moves to the top. Carrick gets that jump. He's going to move up to second. Mueller and Carrick stay to the top. Sansone runs that slider line all the way back up to the top of the speedway. A hornet's nest a little further back. Going to be Sansone under attack into turn 1 by Blake Carrick. Carrick takes the lead coming out of 2. Carrick, Sansone, Mueller. Griggs under attacking Mueller, but being attacked by Mason Hannigan. He gets kind of bumped out of the way there. A little bit of roughneck racing. Hannigan's going to move up to the 3rd spot. Hannigan could absolutely be a spoiler tonight if we're not careful. Hannigan now on attack with Austin Mueller. Carrick starting to pull away a little bit. Sansone getting reeled in by Mason Hannigan. Mueller now laying in behind the tail tank. Chad Griggs, an aggressive move up to the front wheel of Mueller. They almost touch. Holy cow, I don't know how they saved it. Griggs takes the top of the speedway. Mueller goes to the bottom. Griggs on the exit. Gonna have a clean pass. Griggs into 4th. Mueller into the 5th. Hannigan on the attack on Vinny Sansone. Runs the slider. Clears him on the exit. What a beautiful piece of work right there. Sansone going to return the favor in 3 and 4. No, he's not. He's going straight to the middle of the racetrack. They're going to be nose to nose at the finish line. Sansone sticks to the bottom, middle. Hannigan's going to have the run on the outside. Now Sansone has nothing for him. Oh, Sansone back down to the middle and into that fluff, but still Hannigan with the clear pass at this point. Hannigan up to 2nd. Mueller and Griggs now racing for the transfer spot a little bit back there. Hoffman out of the transfer. Currently on the outside looking in. Griggs on the top of the speedway. Hannigan in the wall a little bit. He gets a little bit loose. Griggs up top, running that cushion. He's now passing Vinny Sansone. Now Vinny Sansone looking in or out. Sansone and Griggs now battling for the 4th place. What a race to the finish line. Going to be Carrick, Hannigan, Sansone, Griggs. Carrick, Hannigan, Sansone, and Griggs. I'm not going to lie. I do not know who your transfers are going to be there to the dash. It's going to be Carrick and Chad Griggs holding on in the 4th spot for that dash position. So it just shows to pay off, like that quick qualifying time can really come to help you as Griggs makes the dash and saves what is a kind of disastrous heat race for him, but makes it into the dash, and now is going to start to feature in the top 8. Tried to get an interview down there. I think Christian was looking for an interview down there, but every one of those drivers, when they got out of the car, waved him off and didn't want to talk. So we were hoping to get like Hoffman or Mueller or one of those guys that was battling for that transfer spot. Didn't happen. Anyway, SSR heat race number 3 lining up right here on the front row. Going to be Gavin Chatham and Josh Whiteman. Row number 2, Miles Jansen and Joseph Grandy. Row number 3, Austin Griffey and Chris Lynn. Row number 4, going to be Mike Watson and Solomon Borschinger. Eight laps the distance here in heat race number 3. Cray racing in heats 1 and 2. Let's see what we can pull off here in heat race number 3. Top 4 are going to make it to the feature. with your winner and fastest qualifier going to the dash. Gavin Chatham and Josh Whiteman leading me into turn number 3. They have control of the field coming to the green here. Green flag's out. Chatham takes an early lead. Miles Jansen to the bottom of the racetrack. Starts to get a little bit of movement, but falls back into 4th. Everybody kind of in a straight line here. Christopher Lane kind of falling back in the back of the pack. Grandy, a little bit of attack here from Miles Jansen. Jansen on the top, Grandy on the bottom. This is the set of turns that Grandy's probably got a little bit of an advantage. And he does. Coming into 1 and 2. Jansen ducks down to the bottom, trying to kind of follow Grandy. Jansen back up to the high side, but look who's reeled them in. Austin Griffey now in the 57, sitting in 5th. Griffey needs to transfer here. He's got to finish in the top 4. A little bit of patience will go a long way for Austin. Austin running that momentum line in the top. He's now got to run on Joseph Grandy. Grandy kind of kills his momentum. Jansen running the bottom. That's going to move Griffey into 4th as Jansen falls back to 5th. Your transfers now Chatham, Whiteman, Grandy, Griffey. Griffey in 4th, looking for a little bit of comfort. He's going to continue to battle down here for Joseph Grandy. Grandy, a very all-around driver, not what I would call a sprint car specialist. I'd probably call him more at home in some of the Fender cars, but absolutely capable of pulling his own weight here in the sprint cars. Up front, Whiteman starting to reel in Chatham. Not a lot going there. Griffey maintaining that 4th place. No battle back there. Whiteman's not got anything. A little bit of wall contact there by the 518. White flag's out. This is going to be it. Griffey's now got to run on Grandy. Griffey goes to the top. Jansen now running the bottom. Jansen gets a run on Griffey. Nope, Griffey is fast on the exit of 4. And that's going to lock it. Chatham, Whiteman, Grandy, and Griffey. Your 4 Chatham, and I believe Griffey. Yeah, Griffey to the dash with Gavin Chatham. So Griffey and Chatham going to the dash out of that heat race. Christian taking a look down there, seeing if he can find somebody to talk to between heat races here. We'll see what we get. Not as much excitement in that heat race, but you saw guys like Griffey have to really work hard to stay up. All right, looks like everybody ducked right into the trailers there after that heat race. Sorry, we're trying to get people on the horn here, but we're reliant on them. If they go back to the trailer, there's nothing we can do. That is where our line stops. All right, this is going to be SSR heat race number 4. In row number 1, going to be Ross Kaiser and Dean Reynolds. Row number 2, Braden Eiler and James Newton. Row number 3, your fast qualifier for this heat race, Tyler Schell and Nick Klosterman. And row number 4 is going to be Kyle Stanley and Richard Obermeyer. A-Laps yet again, top 4 to the feature. Your winner and fastest qualifier, meaning Schell, all he has to do here is finish in the top 4. He will go to the dash. Braden Eiler running an unfamiliar number 7 out there. Usually seeing him in that orange and blue number 5 or some some constraint of that orange and blue number 5 that we've seen throughout the years. He's the one to keep an eye on. All 3 of the announcers' picks tonight in this race: Shell, Kaiser, and Eiler. Kaiser gets off to an early start. Eiler jumps into second right away, right back to the top, middle of the speedway. Reynolds tries to make a run on the outside of Eiler. Eiler shuts the door. Eiler maintains second spot. Now Kaiser goes to the top. Eiler goes to the middle. Dean Reynolds in the middle as well. Eiler with that cut down. Eiler has a run on Kaiser. Eiler's going to throw the slider in 1 and 2. Eiler right up to the nose of Ross Kaiser. Kaiser cuts down, loses a little bit of momentum. Now Tyler Schell right in the mix. Tyler Schell down on the bottom. Eiler back to the top of the speedway. Eiler with the momentum off of turn number 4. Tyler Schell, your new leader, from the bottom. What did I say? Don't give Tyler Schell the bottom at Williams Grove. That is a epic mistake for anyone to make. He will absolutely make you pay the price. Schell runs the bottom of the speedway. Eiler goes back down there, but Ross Kaiser now going to the top. 1 and 2, everybody to the top of the track. Tyler Schell starting to pull away. Eiler and Kaiser now fighting. Kaiser to the top of the speedway in 3 and 4. Eiler on the bottom doesn't look as good. It doesn't look as hooked up as Tyler did. These two technically teammates, but Eiler not running the elbows up car tonight. Eiler again to the top of the speedway in 3 and 4. Tyler Schell down on the bottom. Do not let Tyler Schell get a lead here at Williams Grove. He will make you pay the price. Ross Kaiser now trying to get back up to Braden Eiler, but he cannot make a pass. 2 laps to go as we come to the line here. Dean Reynolds holding on in 4th. Not a lot of pressure for him at this point. A little bit of room back to Newton. Newton's got a lot of ground to make up. Tyler Schell continues to run the bottom of the speedway. Eiler to the top. Ross Kaiser now back to the top of the track. Kaiser starts to gain on Eiler as we come around to take the checkered flag. Coming around to take the checkered flag this time by Eiler. A little bit of a bobble. Kaiser slips underneath him. A drag race to the finish line. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. I think Ross Kaiser gets it. Eiler still pulls off the dash hit there as he will be joining Tyler Schell in the dash. So Tyler Schell wins heat race number 3. As we get ready for our consolation race, let's take a look at this week's SSR Tech Tip. Or it looks like, do we have an interview or are we going to do the Tech Tip? Nope, or it looks like we're going to the Tech Tip. We thought we had an interview.
Welcome to Tech Tip, presented by the School of Simulation. Lap traffic is part of racing, and we've all been there both as drivers with a chance to win, dealing with lap traffic, and as a driver struggling with pace being lapped by the leaders. Certainly, there are lots of opinions on the etiquettes of lap traffic. So how do we deal with lap traffic? The first part is to understand and accept that there are multiple drivers at different stages in their development and with a multitude of skills and experience racing on the same track at the same time. Fast cars will catch slow cars. Lap traffic is part of simulating real racing, and like real racing, both the leaders and the lappers must respect each other on the track, and both are responsible for the way they race and their front bumpers. So what should we do as a car being lapped? Here are a few things we've put together to provide guidance to cars off the pace and getting lapped. Unlike what most people will say, as lappers, you should focus on running your own race. Whether you are battling for position, trying to pull away from your nearest competitor, or trying to catch the driver ahead, your race is just as important as the race for the lead. Focus on what you need to do to maximize your race. You are not obligated to stop battling, slow down, or pull aside to let the leaders pass. They are responsible for passing you cleanly. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Who are you catching? Who is catching you? Know which cars you are and are not racing for position with. Use every tool at your disposal, your rearview mirror, your relative display, and any companion apps to watch how the faster cars are navigating other lap cars and be prepared for when the leaders catch you. Paying attention to what is happening around you on track will better help you predict other drivers' moves and allow you to gauge their level of aggression or desperation. Race at your skill level. Use risk-reward decision making to maximize your race outcome. You may not be obliged to pull aside and let the leader pass, but running your race also doesn't mean unnecessarily battling the leaders in a no-win situation. Similarly, be consistent and predictable. You are responsible for controlling your vehicle at all times. That means running a consistent and predictable driving line. Running slider or cut-down lines that traverse multiple driving lanes risks crossing up with the leaders as they attempt to make the pass. Being predictable will allow you to continue to run your preferred line, minimize time lost to those you are racing, and let the leaders pass quickly and cleanly. Show respect to all of our competitors by not trying to race with a broken car. If your car needs repairs, pull off safely and get repairs. Parking the car in the pits isn't very fun, but there is nothing gained by racing with a broken car. Lastly, after being passed by the leaders, watch to see what they are doing different from you and try to mimic. Where possible, follow in their tire tracks and imitate what they are doing. Getting lapped can be an excellent opportunity to learn something from faster drivers. So what should we do as the leader, or as a car battling for the lead in lap traffic? Here are a few things we've put together for guidance. As leaders, we need to respect that lap cars are racing for something too. It may not be for the win, but we need to respect their race. They are not obligated to get out of your way, and as the faster car, you are responsible for passing them cleanly. Leaders approaching lap cars need to be constantly engaged in risk-reward decision making. Ask yourself, how aggressive do I need to be to make this pass? Do I need to make this pass on this car right now? How am I going to make that pass? Just like lap cars, you need to know who you are racing and decide how aggressive you need to be with lap cars. Dialing in the appropriate amount of aggression will only help you better manage traffic and avoid unnecessary risky behavior that could compromise your own race. Sometimes, this can mean following lap traffic, or even relinquishing the lead if it means getting through lap traffic cleanly. As the leader, you also need to be aware of your surroundings. Use your relative display and look ahead to see what lap cars are doing. Are they racing for position? Are they racing a consistent driving line? Do the lappers seem to recognize that you are approaching? Observing the competition will better help you predict what the lap cars will do once caught and prepare you to make a plan on how to navigate around them cleanly and efficiently. Faster cars must judge where on track they are faster than lap traffic and be prepared to slow down in those areas accordingly. Remember that you are responsible for your front bumper. We have all been there, as the leader, with a chance to win dealing with lap traffic, and as a driver struggling with pace being lapped by the leaders. Whether you are a leader or a lapper, respect that we are all racing on the same track for something, and when mistakes happen, take ownership, apologize, learn, and move on.
This could be it. Not a lot of room there for Whiteman. Royer's going to go all the way down to the bottom. He's going to get a huge run. Royer's going to maybe go 2 for 1. He's going to throw the deep slider in 1 and 2. Trevor Royer, your new leader. Whiteman down on the bottom of the track. He's going to get him back, but Royer clearly in second position now. What a way to work lap traffic by Trevor Royer. Man, Taylor Weiland's back there said, what just happened? Excellent look at lapped traffic and how it impacts the races. I do think Williams Grove is a track where we may see some lap traffic tonight. Well, finally, after 4 heat races, Christian got a hold of somebody down there. Christian, I think you've got Nick Klosterman. What's he got to say?
Yes, after a bunch of drivers dodging my interviews, I managed to make my way down here to Nick Klosterman's pit. Nick, you're going to be going out here in that consolation race. Tell us what it's going to take in order to make it up to the front.
You know, we're starting P4. I think we got a good car tonight. Heat race was really fast. I kind of got the short end of the stick and drew a couple fast guys in the heat and really couldn't make any ground up on them. But I think the heat race were looking good, and the cars going to look good tonight.
All right. Well, thank you. Good luck here tonight, and have at 'em.
Thank you.
All right, B main number 1 lining up here. Going to be 10 laps the distance. We've got 8 cars on the grid. On the front row is going to be Jack Burke and Miles Jansen. Second row is going to be Steven Stewart and Solomon Borchner. Row number 3 going to be Jeremy Childers and Mike Watson. And row number 4 going to be Reese Reimers and Christopher Lynn. A little bit of a mix-up there, by the way. Mike Watson taking an EOL for a little bit of incidental contact in his heat race. So he'll go back to the tail for the start of this one. Burke and Jansen lead him to the line. Green flag is out. Burke takes that early lead going into 1. Jansen falling back from Steven Stewart a little bit. Stewart gets in front of Jansen, runs the slider up to the top. Jansen kind of running the middle. He's got a big run coming down the front stretch. Has to check up a little bit on the entry of 1 and 2. Stewart's going to have the advantage as they exit turn number 2. Not as much of a run for Jansen. He's going to have to build some momentum down there on the bottom. Stewart now under attack fully from Miles Jansen. Jansen continues to run the bottom. Stewart now stuck on the top with a car underneath him. Jansen and Stewart make a little bit of contact. Stewart is going to fall back to 3rd. Starts to make a little bit of a grip now on the exit of 4, but Jansen has got it solely in the bag at this point. Jansen now to the top of the speedway. Chris Lynn moving up all the way up 4 spots. He's now up to 4th position. He's in that transfer spot right now. Burke, Jansen, Lynn, Borchinger. Come around, it takes 6 laps to go. 6 laps to go. Jansen now back under attack by Steven Stewart. Stewart starting to reel him back in. That race bringing Christopher Lynn back into the mix. Christopher Lynn kind of running that middle top line. He's got something working. Let's see if he can make something happen. 5 laps remaining. Jack Burke up front. Nobody's really got anything for him. I would have kind of called Jansen to be the clear kind of pull ahead and get ahead kind of person here, but he's really kind of struggled with Steven Stewart. Jansen now starting to pull away a little bit more, running a way more aggressive bottom line than he had in the past. You can see now he's getting a lot more exit speed than he was earlier. Runs all the way down to that inside fence. Stewart now trying something new. 2 laps to go. Stewart to the top side. Stewart gets a little bit of a run. Can't make anything happen. Now Chris Lynn attacking Steven Stewart. For these guys, it's all about survival at this point. They don't really know it. Kind of pay attention, but there's no mirrors, no transponders, no spotters here. Nobody's telling them where they are. They're all in transfer spots, and they're now starting to race the white flag out. Burke, all he's got to do, 2 more corners, keep the wheels on it. Stewart now ducking to the bottom. Chris Lynn moves to the top. Chris Lynn not going to be able to go. Going to be Burke, Jansen, Stewart, Lynn, your 4 transfers, followed by Childers, Borchinger, Reimers, and Watson. See as these guys come to a halt, whether we can get one of them down here really quick to talk. Christian, you got who Chris Lynn it looks like down there?
Yes, I'm just grabbing Chris Lynn. Just out of the corner of my eye, Chris, seeing your crew chief take a big sigh of relief knowing that you guys made the big show. Tell me about your run here in the B main and making it into the feature tonight.
Oh, I huge weight off my shoulders. It's my home track. Had a little trouble in the heat race there. Shout out to Mike. He let me kind of go. But no, I love it in the show, and we're gonna go forward.
All right, Chris. Well, good luck here in the feature, and we'll be watching to see if you can make it up and get a good finish.
Thank you.
Chris didn't have the greatest qualifying effort tonight, and I think that kind of put him behind the 8 ball all night, but it's good to see him transferring through. B main number 2 on the docket. 10 laps on the front row. Ashton Mueller and James Newton. Second row going to be Kenny Hoffman and Nick Klosterman. Third row is going to be Joseph Groom and Richard Obermeyer. That fourth row is going to be Larry Moody and Kyle Stanley. And in that fifth row, going to be Jeremy Christensen, who I believe is a scratch, and I don't see him out there, so I do believe Christensen is a full scratch for the night. Ten laps the distance. Big hitters in here. Ashton Mueller, Kenny Hoffman. Both not making it out of their heat races. Mueller and Newton going to lead them to the line. Let's see where we go. Newton falls back hard on the start, with Hoffman and Mueller both pulling away from him. Hoffman running the inside of the speedway, right on the tail tank of Ashton Mueller. Hoffman and Mueller make a little bit of contact. Settle down, boys. 10 laps here. Got to finish it to make it into the show. Hoffman now solidly on the bottom as Mueller runs the top in 1 and 2. Hoffman drives deep into turn number 3. Gets it in front of Mueller. Mueller cuts down, hoping to get back behind him. This is letting Newton kind of catch up with them a little bit. What a great move by Kenny Hoffman as he kind of sits on the nose of Mueller, and now he's able to pull away. Hoffman now the clear advantage. At Hoffman's lap times, he's 0.3 of a second faster than everyone else on the track at the moment. Hoffman continues to tiptoe with the tulips. Hoffman, Mueller, Newton, Klosterman, your 4 transfers. Joseph Groom out at the moment and starting to lose sight of Nick Klosterman. Kenny Hoffman continuing to tiptoe with the tulips down on the bottom. Moving to the high side in 3 and 4. 5 laps remaining. 5 laps to go for Kenny Hoffman. Four laps to go. Hoffman on the high side in 3 and 4. Let it kind of hang out. Now he goes to the top in 1 and 2. Hoffman again remains at least 1/10 faster than everyone else on the speedway. Hoffman with 3 laps to go. Running the top, you can start to see how thin it is up there. Not a lot of grip remaining. You can see how straight Kenny keeps the car. A little wall contact. Gotta be careful there. Now Kenny goes down to the bottom. Almost catches that inside fence. Getting a little cocky here. Kenny doesn't know the lead that he's got necessarily. Probably can't hear any other cars. But you never know. Kenny Hoffman enters 3 and 4 for the final time. For B main number 2, Kenny Hoffman, your winner of B main number 2. See if we can catch him when he gets down to the scales. Hoffman, Mueller, Newton, Klosterman, your 4 transfers out of that event, and that will finalize the field for the feature. Christian, you got Kenny down there.
Yeah, Kenny just clears the scales here. Kenny, dominant performance there in the B main, but you're going to have a whole lot of traffic to have to get through here in the feature. Tell me what kind of adjustments you're going to make to try to make it up through traffic.
Just be better than everybody else. We were just stuck in the heat race. Not fun running Williams Grove half throttle, for sure. It's just, we just kind of got screwed by the invert. But hopefully make a charge. We switched over to the Howie motors for that Conti there, and those things were on dig. So, see if we can make this charge in the feature.
Yeah, definitely. Dealing with some of that lap traffic, or that traffic, I should say, is going to be a bit of a challenge. But swapping out and going with a little bit more horsepower, that's definitely gonna help with that challenge.
Yeah, definitely. Those Howie motors are digging right now. So Connor's been ripping every week. So made the change, and hopefully we'll see him at the front.
All right. Well, good luck getting up through there, and we'll keep an eye on you throughout that feature.
All right, thanks.
Interesting note about the motor change. A lot of motor tuning on these big tracks. It is all about horsepower and being able to kind of rip around the top. But, like Kenny said, if you get stuck in traffic and you're running half throttle, you're not going to be able to utilize that motor the same way you thought. We've got the dash pushed out onto the speedway. Our lineup for the dash going to be Chad Griggs on the front row with Tanner Pettit, Ryan Avila and Braden Eiler in row number 2, Austin Griffey and Gavin Chatham in row number 3, Blake Carrick and Tyler Schell in row number 4. So a very interesting dash draw as Tyler Schell goes to last place essentially here for the dash. He's got his work cut out for him. This actually offers an opportunity for the other drivers to kind of lock Tyler out. If Tyler can manage to be locked out here and pushed back a little bit farther, that might give them an advantage, a little bit of time to pull away. Griggs and Pettit on the front row. Avila and Eiler. Griffey and Chatham. Griggs leads them off. Pettit gets an incredible start from the second spot. Griggs goes down to the bottom, Pettit to the top. Avila right in the middle. Eiler runs by Avila. Eiler now looking to track down Tanner Pettit. Pettit right on the tail tank of Chad Griggs. Looking like a move here in 1 and 2. Griggs drops the nose underneath Tanner Pettit. Griggs gets the run off of 1 and 2, but can't quite make it happen. He's going to tuck in right behind again. He's going to go back down to the bottom, along with Ryan Avila. Braden Eiler up top with Tanner Pettit. Those two have a little bit of an advantage at the moment. Tyler Schell, your fastest lap that time by. He's coming all the way to 5th at this point. He's all the way to the tail tank of Ryan Avila. Braden Eiler looking to gain a little bit on Griggs. And Griggs, what a move! As he drops down underneath Tanner Pettit and gets a hell of a run off the exit of 2. Now Griggs in the lead. Griggs has been out to play all season long. He's here to show that he is able to run with the big boys, and he's doing it right now. 2 laps to go. Chad Griggs on the bottom, Tanner Pettit on the top. They're wheel to wheel into 3 and 4. Braden Eiler battling his teammate a little further back. Pettit gets the run on Griggs on that corner. Now Pettit the clear leader as he comes on down the backstretch. Griggs going to now just have to hold on for second. But Schell makes the move on Braden Eiler. They're going to drag race down to the finish. It's going to be Schell that gets that. So it's going to be Pettit, Griggs, Schell, Eiler, and then Ryan Avila. Pettit, Griggs, Schell, Eiler, Ryan Avila, your top 4. Didn't see the last half of that finishing order. We'll wait for scoring to confirm. What a race up front, though. Chad Griggs starts to lose ground. He figures out how to come back, figures out how to pull back to the tail tank of Ryan Avila or of Tanner Pettit, and then puts the move on him. All right, we got a little bit of time here while we set the lineup and get the cars pushed out onto the grid. Let's pay the price and hear from our sponsors. Check out the Turn 2 Terribles podcast live every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, YouTube, or the next day on whichever podcast platform you prefer. Turn 2 Terribles is our qualifying sponsor here for NARC No Limit, and we are happy to have them aboard. With over 1.5 times more electrolytes than the leading sports drink, Victory Fuel is your winning source of hydration, all while giving you all your daily vitamins in just a 12-ounce can, sweetened with only 6 grams of natural sugar and no added coloring. Visit drinkvictory.com to get Victory Fuel shipped right to your door, or find your closest retailer or track to get yours today. Christian, the field is set. We are ready to go, and I think you are down in the pits with... I think the guy's starting shotgun on the field tonight. Is that what I hear?
Yes, I'm down here with Nick Klosterman. Nick, maybe not the starting spot you were looking for, but you're in the show.
Honestly, we're right where we want to be. I want no expectations going into the night, and this is where we're at.
Well, that's a great attitude to have in order to try to make it up through there. You got them right where you want them, and yeah, we'll look forward to seeing if you can make your way up through the pack.
Yeah, I can't go backwards.
All right, good luck, Nick, tonight, and yeah, give him hell.
All right, thank you. I'll try.
All right, Steven.
I see Christian running down there to another car. He's
Yeah,
giving
Nick.
another person a shot here. Christian, who you got?
Yeah, just as they're just dropping Steven into his car, I've got Steven Stewart here with me. Steven, what kind of adjustments have you made to the car in order to run a little bit now slicker Williams Grove?
I give her a little more wing angle. I think a lot of people are going to be doing that. And just overall, maybe drop a little bit of stagger out of it. I'm still working on it now, honestly, but just overall basic changes to tighten the car up. I'm not trying to do a whole lot to it, though. I don't want to throw the whole sink at it, because then, obviously, if I get out there and it's too much different, I might just eat the wall. So. But we'll see
Yeah,
how it goes.
definitely a tricky track, especially out of turn 4. A lot of drivers having a little bit of a struggle running that high side. So tightening the car up will definitely make it help with that condition out of 4. Anybody that like to thank here quickly before we head off to the feature?
Yeah, I gotta help, or I gotta thank my mechanic here, right here, helping me, Taylor Wineland. He's been setting the car up all night, and my spotter up in the booth, Michael Todd. He's up there giving me all the calls from the sky. And as we get ready to start here, he's yelling at me to get locked in. So,
All right, Steven, good luck tonight and give her hell.
all right, thank you guys.
Couldn't have timed that one any better there, Christian. I think the push truck literally just lined up behind Steven there. Well, we're lining them up, guys. 24 cars, going to go 30 laps here tonight at Williams Grove. It has been a heck of a run so far tonight. An hour and a half of wheel-to-wheel racing so far. It's only going to get better here, I think, as we finish the night. Here is your Victory Fuel No Limit starting lineup. In row number 12. On the outside, we just talked to him a couple minutes ago. It's the number 26 of Nick Klosterman. Starting 23rd, it's going to be from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, the 32 of Chris Lee. Starting 22nd from Mountain Home, Idaho, the number 8 of James Newton. In 21st position, number 29 from Bloomington, Indiana, of Steven Stewart. And in 20th from Roseburg, Oregon, it's Ashton Muir. In 19th from Taylor Falls, Minnesota, it's Miles Jansen. In 18th from Allentown, Pennsylvania, it's Kenny Hoffman. 17th, it's Jack Burke from Olathe, Kansas. In 16th, it's Dean Reynolds from North Syracuse, New York. And 15th, Joseph Grandy from Waynesburg, New York. In 14th, Vinny Sansone from St. Louis, Missouri. And 13th, Connor Dudek from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. In 12th, from San Jose, California, it's Ross Kaiser. In 11th, from Olean, New York, it is Josh Whiteman. In 10th, from Pittsburgh, Indiana, it is Mason Hannigan. And 9th, from Reading, Pennsylvania, Trevor Wood. In 8th, from Lincoln, Nebraska, Blake Carrick. And in 7th, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Gavin Chatham. In 6th, from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, it's Austin Griffey. And in 5th, from Lemoore, California, it's Ryan Avila. In 4th, from Franklin, Pennsylvania, it's Braden Eiler. And in 3rd, from Millersburg, Pennsylvania, it is Tyler Shell. And starting on your front row, from Jefferson City, Missouri, it is the number 27 of Chad Griggs. And on the pole, from Chico, California, it's going to be Tanner Pettit. Williams Grove Speedway, welcome to the main event. Before you are the 24 cars and stars of the Victory Fuel NARC No Limit Sprint Club. They've done battle all night for the opportunity to give you the best show that sprint car racing has to offer. 30 laps, 24 drivers, only one will come out on top. Pettit takes that early lead as the green flag comes out. Griggs battling back down on the bottom with Tyler Shell right behind him, and a yellow flag right away. Looking at that back, it looks like maybe a little bit of contact between Jack Burke and Grandy. Maybe Miles Jansen got caught up in that too. Interesting note, Kenny Hoffman right in that pack too. Like he absolutely could have gotten nailed in there. Christian, got anything down there? What did you see?
Yeah, it looks like Joseph Grandy, Miles Jansen, Chris Lynn, they've all pulled it off here into the work area, but I don't think they're going to be able to go. Chris Lynn, it looks like a shock has fallen right off, and with both Grandy and Jansen, it looks like they've got some bent chassis, so I don't think they'll be able to continue tonight. But the big benefactor, the guy that we've talked to twice now, Nick Klosterman, he's already up 3 spots.
Yeah, that is the benefit of starting on the tail, as Nick kind of mentioned. That's right where we want to be. There's nowhere to go but forward, and he's not kidding, and it's already paying off. So it'll be a single file restart as we come around this time, probably taking the 1 to go signal. Long pace laps here at Williams Grove. And yeah, we are going to be 1 to go this time by. Pettit brings him to the green. We're back at it. Pettit gets out quickly to an early lead. Griggs and Tyler Schell working that bottom. Schell may find that Griggs is in the way a little bit down there. Schell and Griggs both move to the top in 3 and 4. That's an unusual move. That's going to allow Braden Eiler to come around and get probably both of them as he slides back up to the cushion. Griggs drops the nose right into the slick. That's going to allow Tyler Schell to get the advantage on the outside and drop Griggs back down to 4th, coming off of turn number 4. Schell and Griggs eye to eye. Eiler now kind of got a clean break from them. He's now trying to figure out how to track down Tanner Pettit. Chad Griggs starting to fall back a little bit. Schell running the bottom. Eiler right now back to the tail tank of Tanner Pettit. Griggs now kind of flailing a little bit back there. He's got to get everything back underneath him. Schell starting to fall back a little bit. Now Braden Eiler right with Tanner Pettit. Can Eiler do anything without letting Schell catch back up to them? Yellow flags out again. Yellow flag, I'm not exactly sure what for. Maybe Ross Kaiser? Oh, that's oh yeah, Ross Kaiser kind of caught the inside wall and then collected Newton as he was crashing. So, Christian, it looked like somebody went into the pits right as that caution was coming out, maybe trying to get some extended work area time. Did you catch who that was?
Yeah, Bruce, it looks like it's Chris Lynn. After quickly trying to change out that shock on the last caution, they were able to make it back out there, but still heavy damage on this car. But the crew continues to work on it. These early cautions, he might be able to get it out and be able to turn some laps and salvage some points here tonight.
Lynn obviously running for points. He ran for points in the first season as well. talking hearing out of the race control channel a little bit, just reminding drivers of that damaged vehicle policy. This is one of those tracks where sometimes guys want to, stay out there even with cars that are a little tore up. Here we go. Pettit, Eiler on the front row. Tyler Schell and Chad Griggs in row number 2. Pettit right down along the wall. Goes right to the top. Eiler slides him in 1 and 2. Eiler up to the cushion. Now Eiler clears him. Tyler Schell with the move. We're 3 wide down the backstretch. Schell lifts, lets them have it. Eiler and Griggs make a little bit of contact. Eiler and Pettit now nose to nose. Chad Griggs, big damage as he catches the wall. And he's going to get the yellow flag. But I don't know what that does up front, though, because Tyler Schell got around Eiler while we were looking at Griggs. Tyler Schell almost got around Tanner Pettit while we were looking. A tough break for Chad Griggs, who's had an absolute breakout season against the best of the best on iRacing. And just up there running with the big dogs, and sometimes you get in a little over your head. Christian, anything down there on your end? Are you seeing anything in the pits? Anybody coming down getting extra work?
Well, I was just happened to be standing here near turn 4 when Griggs hit the wall there, and that stacked the entire field up. And just very surprising, everybody was able to try to get by that car as it slowed dramatically. But a lot of cars in here with a little bit of damage, just a little bit of an accordion effect. I got Mueller, Jansen, Burke, obviously Chad in here with heavy damage, Grandy, and Chris Lynn continuing to pick up damage, unfortunately, in those, and Nick Klosterman also involved.
Oh, man. Bad luck for Nick. That is the downside of starting in the back of the pack is, as Robert Blue would say, sometimes when you start in the back with the squirrels, you're going to get your nuts busted, and that is also another possibility when you get started back there. So it's looking like, just by looking at the lineup, they're going to give Tyler Schell second spot. And I think that is a race changer right there, maybe even a race saver, because while Eiler and Schell may be very equal with Tanner here, I do think that those two drivers getting out ahead of the field are going to be very hard to track down. So the closer we get Schell to the front of the field, the harder it's going to be to pass him. "22 laps left on the board. Tanner Pettit brings him to the green. Pettit comes off the top. Schell kind of crosses up to the top. Schell now to the top of the track. Pettit down on the bottom. Tyler Schell just powers around him in turns 1 and 2. Tyler Schell, your new leader, around the outside of Tanner Pettit, almost like he was sitting still. Now Schell continues to run the top of the speedway. Eiler goes down to the bottom. He's starting to seek out something new. Still a lot of race left here. Tyler Schell with a little bit of a cut down. He drops the nose down into the tag. Schell now up top. Tanner Pettit now working the top still. Everybody kind of ducking down to the middle of the track on the straightaway, trying to get into the grip. There's a lot more tack down there. You can reduce your wheel spin by going there, but you lose time because you make the track longer. So it's a calculated gamble. Schell now by almost a second. Kenny Hoffman up to 8th at the moment. He's going to be your hard charger candidate at the moment. Shell out for a Sunday drive up top. Rotates the nose in 3 and 4, cuts down, trying to shorten the corner, get down into that tacky stuff sooner. Braden Eiler starting to lose ground on Tanner Pettit. Ryan Avila now starting to come back up into the picture as he tracks down Braden Eiler. Yellow flags out. Looks like Royer and Carrick in 3 and 4. A little bit of contact. That's going to stack the field back up. Restarts can play a role here. As we saw with Tyler Schell on that last restart, choosing the right line can make a huge difference. Schell with that powerhouse move. Can either Tanner Pettit or Braden Eiler maybe run that move back against Tyler Schell on this restart. Christian, checking in with you down there. All the drivers okay out of that one? That looked like some guys got upside down over there.
Yeah, unfortunately here the bad luck in this season continues for the 90 of Trevor Royer as he gets involved in the incident down here in 3 and 4, and it looks like their night might be over.
Yeah, I believe Trevor Royer DNF in every event so far this season for No Limit. Double file restart here. Tyler Schell, Tanner Pettit, Braden Eiler, Ryan Avila, Mason Hannigan, and Blake Carrick. Mason Hannigan, a new player in this story, just starting to move into the picture. Schell brings him to the green. We're rolling again. Schell down to the bottom on the restart. Runs a slider into 1 and 2, the safe entry. Pretty good lap 1, but he doesn't really pull away hard. Braden Eiler now around Tanner Pettit. Eiler now cleanly into second. Pettit's going to be back on the attack in 1 and 2. Eiler drops the nose, cuts back down to the bottom. Eiler gets the run off of 1 and 2. Not quite enough. Eiler runs the bottom in 3 and 4. And will not be able to make the move back on Tanner. Ryan Avila down on the bottom, but Blake Carrick now a new player entering the game. He's on the top, all the way up into 4th position at this point. Tyler Schell just out for the Sunday drive. He's on a rail. These guys keep battling. They're not going to have any shot to stop Tyler Schell from winning, which is 12 laps to go. Pettit, Eiler, Carrick, Avila all battling hard for that second spot. And yellow flag again. Such a shame. This is a track where lap traffic can play really, really big. And it doesn't look like we're going to get that in these shorter 10-lap runs. Hearing from race control, we'll be down to single file restarts from this point on. They have a maximum number of double file restarts they'll give the drivers, and they have reached that limit tonight. Track wearing in kind of interestingly. The bottom not as dominant as I would expect. The top really being the place where you want to be at the moment. Now even trying to figure out which part of the top is right. Is it good to exit on the top, enter on the top, or both? We've seen drivers kind of trying different things. I do think the bottom of the track's going to come in. If it hasn't already, and we haven't seen Tyler Schell down there pushing it. Just 12 laps to go. Flagman puts up the single stick. That means one more lap till we let him light loose again. Tyler Schell hammer down. As the green flag comes out, nice clean restart among the leaders. They're all running to the top of the racetrack now, trying not to lose ground on Tyler Schell. Tanner Pettit down to the bottom. He might have a move here on Tyler, right down along the inside wall. Tyler protects in 1 and 2. He runs back up to the top of the speedway. Tanner Pettit slides to make the lead. It's not quite over yet, though. Tyler now running the bottom of the racetrack. Boys, this is what you don't want Tyler to do. And Tyler absolutely on the rocket end out of 4. Pettit catches the inside wall a little bit. Schell takes advantage of that. It is now a gaggle for second place. Pettit continues to run the bottom. Blake Carrick now up top. It's a Tyler Pettit Racing mainstay here for second, third, and fourth. That's Kenny Hoffman all the way up to 5th. New player enters the game. Kenny Hoffman now running the bottom, but equally as good kind of in the middle of the track too. He's got a little bit of option here. Hannigan's going to make the move underneath him. He can't make anything work. Hoffman right on Avila's tail tank. Now who is that up top? Is that Carrick up top? Carrick started to fall back a little bit. Hannigan got around him. Now Carrick's starting to come back a little bit. Oh, Schell gets a little bit of a bobble up front. Now Tanner Pettit is going to pass him. Ryan Avila out front. This is a tale yet to be told. Kenny Hoffman now making a move. Anybody's race at this point with 5 laps to go. Ryan Avila on the bottom. Schell up top into the wall a little bit. Avila, Hoffman, Schell, Carrick, Hannigan. Throw a blanket over them all. Nobody knows who's winning. It's who's going to give up the most real estate at any point in time is what's going to win this race. Look at this Tanner Pettit all the way back to, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place for Pettit at this point. He was passing Schell for the lead not too long ago. Ryan Avila defending from Hoffman. Two laps to go. Everybody's starting to run the bottom. Tyler Shell back in third. Hannigan on the prowl. Tanner Pettit takes the white flag. Starts our final voyage of velocity here at Williams Grove. Hoffman gets a better exit on turn number 1. Ryan Avila down to the bottom. Protects over Hoffman. Coming to the checkered flag for 2 weeks in a row. Ryan Avila is your no-limit winner here at Williams Grove Speedway. Followed by Kenny Hoffman, Tyler Shell, Mason Hannigan, Blake Carrick, your top 5. Tanner Pettit drops all the way back to 6th, followed by Dudek Griffey, Chatham, Sansone makes it into the top 10. Greg Stewart, Royer, Reynolds, and Jansen, your next 5. Whiteman, Klosterman, and Newton, your last cars finishing the race. Eiler, it looks like, takes some contact or a mechanical failure at the very end and pulls in. But Ryan Avila holds off Kenny Hoffman and Tyler Shell to take your win here at Williams Grove Speedway. All right. Well, we got some guys down there. Looks like Ryan is getting ready to hop out of the car here. Williams Grove, give it up for Ryan Avila as he hops out of the car and celebrates in victory lane for win number 2 here this season at Williams Grove Speedway in the NARC No Limit Sprint Cars. Christian, I think you've got Ryan down there, and he's probably a pretty happy camper with the way that one turned out.
Yes, Ryan, heck of a race. Back-to-back wins here in No Limit. Walk us through those last few laps. Shell bobbles, a bunch of cars back up. You're on the high side, and the next thing you know, you find yourself out front in all that clean air.
Yeah, that was insane 10 laps right there. I don't even know what happened, to be honest, for us to be 3 wide in the 3 and 4 that one time, and looked like Tanner pushed up Shell into the slick, and I had to run off. So kind of split-second decision there to go to the top and cut down. Honestly, did not think I'd have to drive off, and then Kenny ran the bottom perfect for how many laps he was down there. So yeah, back to back here, so pretty good.
Yes, heck of a run. Who would you like to thank here? Sponsors, crew. Let us know who's supporting you out there.
Yeah, I think Tanner, Blake, everyone over at Tanner Pettit Racing, Jimmy P. Mac Tools, 1425 Photography, Ethan Johnson over at Free Speed, Dalton Strum, Clayton Davies Photography, Trackside Collective, Aces Up Sim Sport. You guys for putting this on, NARC, everyone over at SSR. Pretty fun to run these races and pretty good to win them.
Well, it's your NARC No Limit Williams Grove winner, Ryan Avila, taking 2 in a row here in the No Limit series. Congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, as Christian makes his way over to Kenny Hoffman, we'll see what Kenny has to say. But that is going to be a big points advantage to Ryan now. 2 wins in a row is not something I expected we would have seen in this field, but that's what we got. Christian, you got Kenny down there.
Yeah, I've got Kenny Hoffman here. Kenny, we talked after that B main. You had such a dominant car there. We talked about the engine change. I think they're going to be selling a whole lot more engines here come Monday morning. Tell us what it was like here to run up through that field and just come one spot short.
It was interesting to say the least. Just a lot of people were driving over their heads. Just even restart itself was a little sketchy. Just people intentionally sagging back to try to get better runs, and it was just stacking up the whole field behind. And with Williams Grove being such a long straightaway, tight corner track, it's just really sketchy when you're going 130 into these real tight corners. So yeah, just happy that I can survive, was able to survive, I should say, and charge away up front where we definitely belong.
Yeah, well, certainly patience paying off, making moves all the way up through the field and taking advantage of other people's troubles. Excellent race. Uh, Let us know who you'd like to thank. Sponsor, crew, the guys that support you week in and week out.
Yeah, it was a definitely fun race. Just not really sure what the 24 whatever. Yeah, huge shout out to Aces Up Sim Sports. They're jumped on board with us, and we really appreciate Chad Griggs for everything he does for us. So also Colin Bokus, ever since we got with Colin, from pro to now, we've been really good. That's just huge thanks with him, just putting in time with me and my whole team, and we're all getting better and better. KSMS Racing Media, Casey Simons Photography, Fusion Setup Shop, of course the new engine, Howie Racing Engines, Brogger Chassis. We made some switches there after the heat race. Thanks to you guys for putting it on. Thanks for broadcasting every week for us to enjoy back. And yeah, congrats to Ryan on the win.
All right, congrats, Kenny, on a heck of a run, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, thank you.
Well, that wraps up our night here at Williams Grove. Ryan Avila taking the win, followed by Kenny Hoffman and Tyler Shell. Christian, you got any last thoughts as we close out the night here?
Well, I have to agree with you, Bruce. Another excellent points night for Ryan. That's 3 podiums, 2 wins. He's looking to be the class of the field right now. It's going to take a lot for these guys to challenge him with only what is it, 5 races left on the calendar. It's going to be tough. But Tyler Shell puts up another podium. Kenny Hoffman with his run tonight showed a lot of speed, a lot of patience. If he can keep that up, he might be able to get up there and start challenging these guys. So good runs for them. Um, and I look back at the other end of the order, still another tough night for Trevor Royer. A big hole for those guys. Um, and drivers like Josh Whiteman, Nick Klosterman, Ross Kaiser, my pick tonight, unfortunately got into trouble. Those guys are going to have to pick it up here in the last closing races here of the season if they want to make a run at this championship.
I agree. I think Ryan has created a, kind of a monster run here at the beginning. It's going to require him to really make a mistake to get away with it. But you saw that tonight from the Williams Grove master himself, Tyler Shell. It only takes one mistake at the wrong time, and suddenly you're trying to figure out how to even survive the rest of the night, let alone win the race. So it was interesting to see a chink in the armor with Tyler here. Usually he's just, I mean, hands down the guy to beat. And I think the racing we saw tonight just showed how competitive this field is. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of people out there that would tell you to bet against Tyler Shell at Williams Grove. And tonight, if you bet against Tyler Shell at Williams Grove, you were likely to come out on top. So um, interesting to see that. But I agree. We're still a little early in the season. As we hit the third week, we'll and start to move into week number 4. There's still a lot of racing. I mean, every race that we've run right now, we have that many races plus some left in the season to finish up. So I think anything could happen here. Christian, I guess from you and from me up here in the booth, from Ted and Greg and Josh and Ryan and race control and Brandon down in the pits running and running coordination. Thanks to everybody for their help putting this on. We couldn't do it without you. And to all the drivers, we really appreciate you guys coming out and having a little fun on a Sunday night and doing things a little bit differently. We know sometimes, like tonight, runs a little bit long, but we're appreciative of your time and your effort and the show that you get to put on for all of us. So thanks to everybody. And with that, I'm Bruce Klingon, and we'll see you when the dust settles.